What's going on, people? Welcome to the Player Rated Show. As Manchester United have somehow got through to the semi-finals in a crazy, crazy game. These ratings are going to be interesting, actually, because it was just mental.
Yeah,
it was such a mad game that I even want to do player ratings for for Fulham players. But I'm not going to do that. David De Gea, you touched on it. He made some big saves. That really helped us at a point when we just poor all day.
Yeah. I'm going to give him a 7, maybe even up an 8 if I'm nice about it. Really, really important saves for us. And today the distribution wasn't a thing that was required from him.
And do you know, because I think he didn't really have any big ones to hit in terms of, you know, loop it over this guy, zing it into that. It was just all pretty safe, all pretty easy. But then the saves, I agree. I'll go over 7. I think the saves that he did make, I think the Willian one from outside the box gets a good hand to that. There was one from Robinson where luckily it was on his weaker foot, but he had to push that over as well. The header from Mitrovic was going in. Actually, 8. Yeah. I forgot. That Mitrovic one was looping in. Yeah, big save. And how ironic. Do you know what? People, I'm saving it for later. Do you know what? Because they were all on to me, Marcel. They say, "Oh, you touching the hair, you did this," and now look, now man's done that.
You gave him magic hands, Flag.
But no, I didn't. No, because don't touch him. Oh, you did this. But not one of them is going to say, "You know what, Fleck? Well done."
No,
but it's all right.
It was that hand as well, fam.
It was this hand. But you know what? I don't want your praise. I don't want your love. Right back, Wan-Bissaka. I thought he was solid today. A couple of times look, the first half was poor from a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to overgas Wan-Bissaka's performance. I don't think he was excellent. I think he was just steady. I think he just did what he needed to do defensively. Then obviously once the game opened up, he found himself in the higher up positions. I'd give him a 6. I would. Yeah, I think just a steady performance. I don't think he done much better than that, but he wasn't awful. I just think he was steady.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with it, just to make it nice and simple. I liked his game, though. I really liked his game. If Martinez was man of the match, but second would have been Wan-Bissaka for me.
Really?
Yeah, man, really liked his game. You know, he's trying to do what Delo's doing, drifting into areas, you know, inverted football. It's really good.
I think it's just so hard to judge the first 75 minutes, because if we were judging it off that, the ratings would be shocking, because they really were poor until we created that moment when Anthony was through, etc., etc. But okay, fair enough. Harry Maguire,
3. Wow, and we know this. We know this as fans. You know, we've seen it season in, season out now with him. He's not the quality required. I think he's still a Premier League player, though. I'll give him that. He's still a Premier League player, but maybe just not at this level. Today was really, really bad. I mean, slow on the ball. Rugby tackling Mitrovic today a couple times. Anytime he goes to engage with a player, it's so slow to get out to them.
There's a soft one, although it's soft, but it's clever from Decordova-Reid as well. The one where he's going towards the corner flag, and it's like, just don't foul. Obviously, he puts his arms on him a little bit, he feels it and goes down, but just don't engage. Like, just that a little bit of acuteness. And you do feel it in the stadium. As soon as he gets the ball, people are just on him, because he does things quite slowly, takes a while to make his mind up of what he wants to do. And then when it comes to defending in one-on-one situations, high up, Mitrovic was literally, there was another corner as well where he was just tangling with Mitrovic, just wanted to fight. And Mitrovic had his number. I don't think it was great from Harry Maguire. I probably would have went with like a 4. But yeah, a 3 or 4 is you know, not much difference. Martinez, I'm giving him a solid 8.
Yeah.
I think he was our best player in what was, like you said, not a great performance. But anything good that we did came from him, especially in the first half when we hardly did anything right. Passes between the lines, you know, defending one-on-one situations. He only made one mistake where I think Harrison Reed done him when he wanted to put his body that way and then he went round him. But other than that, he was just solid, man.
Top level player, man. And we've been saying it all season. Just he zips the passes in. It's a punched pass in, so it's buying the player that gets the ball time, because it's coming into him quick.
As opposed to Harry Maguire, where it's slow, it's laboured.
And he's pointing at people, so he's telling you that I don't really know what you're doing, or he's trying to dictate to people, Maguire, too much. It's not. People should know what to do and they should drift into spaces. Martinez will just punch the ball into you once you're in the right areas, and that gives you time now, because the ball comes to you quicker. You can deal with your person 1v1, and he's just a ridiculously good player. Tried clips over the top, nearly got Anthony in towards the end.
Yeah.
He's top player.
Yeah, he is. I agree. Man of the match and an 8. Left back, Luke Shaw. I think he was just steady. I think he was just strong in his tackles. Not, you know, again, We're marking from a really poor position for large parts. It's a weird game to mark this. But I'm just going to give him a steady 6. Like I gave Wan-Bissaka a steady 6. I think Luke Shaw was just a steady 6. Again, when they were down to 9 men, you expect us to be dominating. You expect us to be playing balls between the lines. You expect us to be pressing. But I think everything taken into account, I think just a 6, normal 6.
The only reason I'm going to say 5 is because I think he's got a standard now. Throughout this season, he's created a standard for himself. And because it's so below that...
Gets the assist, actually, for the goal. For Sabitzer.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. It's the cutback. He's through the lines and he does do the cutback.
Makes the run, cuts it back.
Listen, you're slowly increasing that rating with me.
I mean, maybe you lot might want to see a 7, but I just think I'm including that in there. The assist and his defensive solidity. It could go to a 7, but I just think overall, because he didn't really get forward in the first half, he didn't really do anything because again we were so poor, and we come out second half and we were still as poor, and then we conceded. So look, he played more average for more of the game than he played good. Do you know what I'm saying? It was the 15-minute spell so I'm going to go over 6.
Yeah, 5. For that. I'll stick with the 5.
Yeah, so and you're going to go 5. Yeah. All right, cool. You guys decide. Into midfield. Let's go with Scott McTominay.
Wow, that's if Maguire's a 3, I'll put him as 3 as well. Really, really poor, bro. The game was just way above his quality level. Hiding for the ball, can't really make he done a few good moments though. A little bit physical at times, and he was making the right passes sometimes, but
got into the box, got his shot blocked.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just saw a player who he can't, and it's not his fault. It's just the limitations of his game. I don't think he can connect the midfield to the defence. He can't come and say, give me the ball, I'm going to start this attack. Give me the ball, I'm going to get us playing. He can't do it. And I just felt like which is what he does, he just plays safe, doesn't he? Plays safe, just not good enough. And he wasn't the only one in a midfield that was just a makeshift of 3 different players, but I just didn't see it from him, and I agree. And it was rightly so to get taken off. Could have come off even earlier, to be honest. Bruno. It was a typical Bruno performance. We spoke about this, isn't it? Haven't we? He scores a penalty in the clutch moment and gets another goal as well, which is a well-taken goal. When there's 9 men on the pitch, you expect that. Yeah. But he was poor for large parts. He ends up getting a 7, I think, because of 2 goals. Yeah. But really, he played a 5.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? He played a 5, but how can you when you need to score that penalty? It's all good they've gone down to 9 men, but if you miss that and give 9 men something to cling on to for it, it changes the game. So just for that alone, I'll put him up at a 7. But I'm not, just because he's one of my favourite players and I love Bruno, I'm not just going to wax lyrical about him like he was amazing today, because I don't think he was.
100% right. You said it perfectly. And a 7's a generous one as well.
Even that, it's even like,
because it was so low. He was so wasteful. But again, you said it perfectly. The pressure moments, you want a big player to step up. Exactly. And then to kill the game at the end, to just put it to bed, he does that. So he does his job, I think. And I think him as a player, if you come off the pitch and you're thinking, I've scored 2 goals, and it was very poor and wasteful today, but I've scored 2 goals, so I think you can't criticise him too heavily. Yeah. Typical Bruno performance is a nice way to brand it. So
exactly. It could technically be a 6, but I don't know. I'm feeling a bit happy now. Let's cook it up a little bit. Sabitzer.
Again, 6.
Yeah, gets his first goal.
Yeah, good actions today.
Winning
good goal.
Yeah.
A couple good shot opportunities. 6.
Yeah, and it feels weird giving him a lower rating than Bruno. It feels like he should get a 7 as well, just because it's his first goal and he scored the winner. Yeah. If by that logic, so maybe they're actually both 6s. I don't know, but we shall see. I don't know. See what these guys think, but I think a 6 is fair. Let's go into the front 3. Sancho, it's not the top level at the moment. Not playing his best football. I'm going to give him a standard 6. Had a key moment as well. Was part of a key action in the game, but and gets the penalty as well. But overall, I think he's just got so much more to do for the team. I think he ends up playing in the 10 for us, if I'm honest with you. His career, his under 10 Hag, his arc would be maybe ending up in the 10. In the wings, there's just you need pace. You need pace to burn, and he just doesn't have it in abundance. So. Yeah, I thought he was actually really poor in the first half. He had no intensity in his game, no willingness no aggressive. Basically, everything that Anthony brought when he came on, Sancho just doesn't possess that. But he's neat and tidy on the ball. We know that there's a player in there, but there needs to be a style of play to complement that. And I'm just not sure when we're going to see it. But this team is so far away from being where it wants to be that it's going to take even more time. I agree with that. I think a 6 at best. Let's go on to Weghorst. I'm going to give him a flat 5. Just not involved enough. He does doggies. Every time I watch him, he's running from left to centre to right, back to centre, back to left.
Even
You
from
know,
kickoff.
he puts it in. He puts it in. Bless him. He's working his nuts off. But he himself, he said, needs to get more goals. He had that timid shot, left foot outside the box. And I'm not saying we're creating a whole host for him, but he is there or thereabouts. I mean, he's just not. I just don't always know he's there. He's just, he's trying. He does a good job for the team. He works hard, and that's all we can ask from him, considering the type of player that he is and where he's come from and how he ended up here. But I think off today's performance, 5, yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Fully agree.
Rashi.
That high standard has not been. He's not reaching it right now. But yeah, it's the games. It's the accumulation of games. The big challenge it's really from that Barcelona game against the Rojo.
Yes.
That little collision there.
Yeah.
Since then, it's been tailing off for me a little bit.
And even then, he still managed to get some important goals. Yeah, exactly.
They're crazy when you say that as well, Flex, man. It's 100% right. But today, 6 maybe, unfortunately.
Yeah, wasn't his best game. Again, I agree with exactly what you're saying there. He hasn't hit the levels, but he's been so good this season that even when he hasn't played good within the 90, he does something like Betis just on Thursday was a prime example. Wasn't very good.
Missed key chances.
Missed 2 key chances before scoring an absolute worldie. The game here against Betis, 8 minutes in, bang, top of the corner, roof of the net. Do you know what I mean? So Rashi's our guy. Amazing season, but today I think a flat 6 is fair. Anthony comes on, has a big impact.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his game as well, because a lot of the time I feel like there's something missing in his game. He's not really contributing the way that I would traditionally see in
on a
winger.
Consistent basis throughout the game.
As well. Yeah, so today really, really good action. Nearly scored I can see why he's a link-up man now. There's a nice little intricate play. Yes, they're down 2 men, and that's why you got the spare man somewhere in the team, but I'm going to give him a 7, man. Really liked his game. Really liked his game. Should really give it a 6 in terms of, it wasn't that much time to contribute in the game. But he does one of the key moments, pass it across to Sancho.
I think because he wasn't part of the whole first half, wasn't part of the first, 10 minutes of the second half when we concede, then he comes on for Scott McTominay.
Changes the
structure of the game, gets us going. He just elevated the performance, you know what I mean? And not to amazing levels, but he impacted the game. Fred came on. Did Fred come on? Yeah, Fred did come on. Yeah. Was okay, flat 5, just kept it ticking, kept doing just what he needed to do. Agree with that. And I think there was only 2 subs.
Yeah, that was.
I don't remember anyone else. I'm really bad at this. Sometimes I always forget. But that was it. There's only 2 subs, isn't it? 2 subs. And Ten Hag, what would you give him? Because we are through to the semi-finals. Well, we're still alive in cup competitions. We're still hunting another trophy. It was poor for large parts, but we got it done. But the red cards changed it all. Where does Ten Hag sit in all of this?
Considering the job that he has to do, bare bones in the midfield. The squad's really, really thin right now, and the demand and the pressure to play football matches and win them. Been really good in the press conferences as well, and I'm going to give him a 7.
I like that. I mean, the only agreements I think is I would have made changes earlier, but you can't get everything exactly how you want it. And like you said there, he had to play a midfield of that's reduced. Maybe you could say you shouldn't have played McTominay. You probably get better off going with Fred. But hindsight's a wonderful thing. I think a 7's fair. So let us know what you guys think. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are out of here. Peace.